Hello people, Justin Thought here. I'm excited to announce that Jelly Bean 4.3 is available for the Samsung S-II Skyrocket. Today we'll be looking at the popular Beanstalk adaptation of this ROM. After having been abandoned by AT&T and Samsung at the Jelly Bean 4.1 level, a number of people have put lots of hard work in to keep us up to date. Thanks goes out to the CyanogenMod Team for developing this ROM, and especially to v4.3.05 for tweaking it into the popular Beanstalk platform for the S-II Skyrocket. Remember, this is a preliminary release of 4.3, only out for a few days now, and some people have reported some issues. Most of the issues I've seen reported have been due to incorrect installation. The installation procedure is slightly different from previous installs of ROMs, so I have to emphasize that you must follow the installation instructions exactly. However, I've been running it now for several days and the operation has been flawless. This ROM, as well as instructions for installing it, are available from the link below. When you initially boot into Beanstalk, you'll see this magnificent boot screen developed by Skyliner33V. If you have a different boot animation that you prefer, an option is available to select a custom boot animation as well. Once the equipment finishes booting, you'll have your choice of one of two launchers, the Nova launcher and Trebuchet. First, let's select Trebuchet, choosing just once, and you'll see an introduction screen. Press OK and you're in the launcher. Nice, basic launcher. It has plenty of real estate for your apps, as well as a standard app drawer at the bottom for your frequently used applications. Let's go into the applications and you get an instruction screen to explain the obvious. v4.3.05 has bundled in several popular applications with this ROM, and you'll notice that the focal camera has been included. The developer has included a standard dialer with all the amenities, including automatic contact lookup as you dial. A basic contact screen. Being the first boot, there are no contacts here right now, of course. A look at the messaging screen. Pretty standard fare here. If you have a preferred contacts and/or messaging application, of course you should be able to use it with this ROM. Okay, now let's move over to Nova Launcher. As you can see, you have the opportunity to import your settings from another launcher. Lots of screen real estate for your applications. I have to say, later I tried to import from my Go launcher and Nova simply ignored it. Customize your settings for Nova if you wish. Quite a few options there that I haven't explored. Okay, now I'm going to reboot and flash Google Apps and make this phone mine. Okay, we're back. After watching the rainfall to make the Beanstalk grow, you'll notice that the lock screen has several sliders for some of your preferred shortcuts. Also, you can set up static icons for additional apps as well. It's totally customizable, and we'll take a closer look at that in a little while. My preferred launcher is Go Launcher. As you notice, it has a customizable app drawer at the bottom. My setup only uses 3 screens, with my most used apps in the main screen and the next preferred apps on the second screen. The third is taken up completely by my daily agenda. A quick glance into the application screen and you'll notice there have been several additions since we first booted up. Slide down and you can see some quick toggles. Either press at the top right or use the swipe bar at the bottom and you can view your notifications. Back to the toggle screen, let's go into settings. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage, and more, standard fare for every version of Jelly Bean I've seen so far. You can see that 4.3 has a nice range of customizations for you. A brief preview for now, and then we'll go into more detail. Still, remember, this video only provides a capsule preview. You can explore the details at your leisure. Now let's take a look at the setup on the lock screen I mentioned earlier. By going into this section, you'll notice a generous set of options. Let's take a look particularly at the slider shortcuts. You'll note that there are 5 buttons for shortcuts available. These are fully customizable. Let's take a look at the procedure. Select one of the sliders to enter the edit screen. Touch the current application you wish to change and a screen opens with several popular actions. Or touch applications and you can choose from one of your installed apps. Choosing one will return you to the edit screen and you can just click OK. One thing to emphasize is don't forget to touch the Save button at the top right or your changes will go away. Next, we'll take a look at the static lock screen shortcuts. You can see that Apollo has already been added as a default shortcut here. Click the plus sign and you can select another application to be available on your lock screen. Now, from the settings screen, let's go into the system menu. Quite a few customizations are possible from here, so let's take a closer look at several of these now. General user interface, quite a few options available. As I mentioned earlier, if you wish a custom boot animation, this is the screen where you select it. The status bar options, a rich set of customization options here. You'll notice I've chosen breathing, missed calls, and messages. Beanstalk Pie, I haven't explored that yet. Several customizations available. We'll enable that and you can see the options that are available. Beanstalk Halo, again, I haven't used that yet. We'll enable it and take a quick look at the options. Here's the customization screen for the navigation bar, a large number of settings so you can set your preferences. A quick look at the quick settings panel, a nice variety of customizations you can choose from. Let's take a closer look at the notification drawer since there's a lot of power here. This will allow you to select what's displayed when you pull down and view the notifications. We won't go into great detail, but let's drill down on the power widget as an example. If you recall from a moment ago, the pull-down menu toggles between notifications and the quick settings toggles. Here's an example of the notification drawer with no modifications. By activating the power widget, as you can see, it adds a power bar in your notifications. You can then customize the power bar by selecting the widget buttons, which brings up a menu with quite a number of choices. Let's select a couple at random. We'll enable some media actions. Now, when you pull down your notifications, you can see that these actions have been added to the bar. Miscellaneous settings, several options there. Application sidebar, we'll enable that and you can see what options you can choose. In the power menu, select what actions you want to see when you long press your power button. Here's the clock widget, which makes changes to the home and lock screen widgets. Customize your clock and alarm, your weather panel, and decide which, if any, calendar events to display on your lock screen. Build prop mods. That message there is enough for me. I like excitement, but not that much, so I'll just stay away from this section. If you use gestures, here's where you set up the options for that. Hardware keys screen, where you can enable or disable the hardware buttons, as well as change the actions associated with each key. Let's take a look at the home key, and you can see that there's a wide range of actions you can choose from. Okay, back in the settings screen, let's take a look at the developer options. Among other things, here's where you can select the advanced reboot options, which of course I have enabled. About Beanstalk, information about the developers of this fine ROM. See that PayPal button? If you like this ROM, why don't you consider a small donation to the developers? They have worked hard with no pay to bring the comfort of Jelly Bean 4.3 to your Skyrocket, so it would be nice if you gave a little back to them. Into the About Phone screen, information about just what you're using. Of course, no Android phone would be complete without the Easter egg, and this one is no different. Okay, we'll return to the main screen, and this will conclude our very brief overview of the new Beanstalk Android Jelly Bean 4.3 for the Skyrocket. Once again, thanks and kudos to the CyanogenMod team and also to 1-to-1-2 for tweaking this into a feature-rich, extremely stable platform for the Samsung Skyrocket S-II. Thanks for watching. I hope this has helped you. Make sure you visit my channel and take a look at some of my other videos.